Scotty, you have the floor.
Oh, let's talk about Ankle Biter. Green for Creature Snake. It's a Death Touch. It's a 1/1. It's fine. It's fine. Defensively, it's okay. Aggressively, not particularly interested in it. A little small. So, like, there's a lot of things that can't mount or whatever. That, if you want to cash it in for some aggressive power later. So, it's like a C- for me.
Yeah,
Totally
C
fine.
minus. Nothing relevant about this. No snake, death touch. Usually we have something like enchantment. It does something else, but okay. 1/1, death touch, sure. It's fine. Not something you're looking for, I think. I think it's gonna go down to a dig rate probably. Next up, we got Bristleback Sentry for 1 and a green. It's a 3/3 defender, Plant Wolf. As long as you control a creature with power 4 or greater, this guy can attack as though it didn't have defender. Now that's nice. We've had a 3/2 in the last set, which had defender. I'm not sure what was up with that one. Was detective, sure, but a big deal for these defenders for 2 that can attack conditional is how often can you attack with them? How often are they just sitting there and blocking? Because you don't really want them to block all the time. That's when they become bad. In the last set we had a 3/2, which is not even comparable. I think a 2 mana 3/3 is overstated. It blocks and attacks through most 2-drops really well. And it kind of trades well with 3-drops as well, so that's really nice. Now, in the previous set, you had to draw an extra card to attack with a 3/2, which trades with any other 2-drop basically, so that was garbage. And drawing a card is something that you don't really want to do except with one card in the last set. You don't want to do it early, so it's going to be attacking in the mid-game, late-game maybe. In the set before that one, the LCI, we've had a same creature like this, but it said whenever an artifact enters the battlefield. And that was so often that guy was attacking like 80% of the time when it mattered, when you wanted to attack with it. I think this guy is even better. Having 4 or greater in green, I think it's gonna happen pretty quick. Sometimes on turn 3, turn 4 usually, at least 5, and it's gonna be able to attack and attack and attack. You don't have to play anything, draw any cards, do anything. You don't have to expend resources from hand or any... How should I say this? This is a consistent effect, right? You make this guy a 4/4 and it can attack. You have a 4 on the battlefield, it can attack any amount of times on any amount of turns. You're not reliant on your draws, which is so huge for these defender things. I'm on a C+, man. I love this guy, this thing. I can see it being even better. I would be happy with having a ton of my 2-drops, be these 3/3s, and yeah, you just overstat it and starts attacking very quickly.
I think it's great. Even if you can't necessarily attack with this, it can still technically mount something to contribute to aggression. So
I guess
this card seems fantastic. It's a C+ for me as well.
Fantastic card. So super easy to just attack with it all the time.
Cactarantula, 4 green, 6 mana total for a creature plant spider. It's a 6/5 with reach, but it costs 1 less to cast if you control a desert, and whenever Cactarantula becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. This is huge. I don't think it's that difficult to get a desert.
Yep.
So you have to get a desert before turn 5. Of course, you can't play your tap desert on turn 5 and expect to cast this usually.
You can have a 6th land be a tap desert. That's kind of nice.
You can have your 6th land, that's true, yeah. But this is overall very nice. This is super solid. This is super solid at 5-drop. I don't think you can even sleep on the last ability of being able to recoup something if they clear it out of the way. This is fantastic. I actually think this is really good. This is like since it's okay. So I think it's a really strong 5-drop, but I'm gonna give this a C. Mostly because it's expensive, and I don't want too many.
Yeah, it's like 5-drop or 6-drop, and this is a really nice effect on a single-bodied 5-drop, 6-drop, whatever it's gonna be. We've had this in M20, I think, or M21, I can't remember, on a 6-drop uncommon, which said draw 2 cards. And
That's like a completely different card.
what? The tree folk?
The tree folk? Yeah, the tree folk.
The tree folk was crazy.
Yeah.
But I just wanna like that's the only thing that I can compare it to really. And
Sure.
I mean, it's similar, just that card is stronger in every aspect. But it's also always a 6-drop. That guy. This can be a 5-drop a lot of times, and that has been an amazing effect. Because the problem with single-bodied 5-drop 6-drops is opponent kills it with their 2-3 mana removal, and you're feeling really bad about it. This guy, it's fine. So I want to see, because it is a 5-drop 6-drop 1 body, but I think this is pretty good. Also reach, really nice.
I mean, to be fair, usually the reason why you're not happy about your 5-drop getting removed is mostly damage related, not necessarily card advantage related, right?
It's also tempo, right? Like this, you get some value, because you were waiting usually for 5-drop 6-drops. The more you put in a deck, the more you're waiting to finally play out your hand. And somebody who is playing a lower curve is gonna play out their hand, and they're gonna overwhelm you a lot of times. And well, that's why usually you need ETBs from your 5-drops and 6-drops, making multiple bodies or something. But this doesn't have ETB. But I mean, reach is really nice to have here, because it does block anything. So it is tempo related, so this doesn't get you back on tempo. But drawing a card, like you can have a good turns later on if this dies. So I don't think it's gonna go higher. It's just a single body 5-drop 6-drop without ATB or multiple bodies. I don't think I can give it a higher rate than a C. But if it's consistently 5-drop, that's really nice. Dance of the Tumbleweeds. For 1 and a green, it's a sorcery with spree. For +1, you search your library for a basic land card or a desert card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So that's 3 mana. But for +3 more, you create an XX elemental creature token where X is the number of lands you control. Okay. Not broken. Not a bad way to fix. Or ramp. For 3 mana, this is historically been a pretty bad effect. For 3. But having this modality that for 5 mana, you can make a 5/5 that's not gonna grow. Right, it's not gonna grow.
Yeah, it stays static. The
It
power
stays a
toughness
5/5,
is set. Yep.
Or for 6 mana, you can make a 7/7. Or if you have more mana, that's better. So this is a really nice modality, right? You gotta when do you not want this? Usually it's kind of late game. You really don't want to land. You don't want to ramp. You don't want to fix. You just want to play something, and you can. It's not the best thing ever, but you can. And then you have 6, like then you can also say, oh, nice, I can get my land. I can splash, and I'm getting a big body. I do like this quite a bit. If you don't need to fix, I don't think you pick this. But if you do, I want to see if you need to fix. I think you really like this.
I'm also in a C. I don't want to overload on this, but I do think that you'll be wanting to splash enough of the time where I'm willing to pick this pretty middle of the line. So yeah, I'm also in a C. It's good. It's totally solid. Really happy to see this 3 mana ramp effect be decent.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I kind of see it more as just like the other. Oh, actually, there's another green 5-drop. So green's kind of stacked with expensive commons, to be honest. But
that is true.
It's kind of like a 5-drop with like a bailout mode of 3 mana ramp.
If you don't need to fix
you,
I don't think you ever take this. Right?
I think it's pretty mediocre in a 2-color deck.
Yeah.
Drover Grizzly, 2 green, 3 mana total for a bear mount. It's a 4/2. Whenever Drover Grizzly attacks while saddled, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. Saddle 1. I kind of don't care about this unless you really want things with 4 power inherently.
And mounts.
Or like things that care about mounts. Yeah. So if I'm trying to hit a critical mass of that type of effect, then I'll take it a little bit higher. But I'm overall pretty low on the 4/2 stat line with that can push damage with trample. Some maybe not intuitive thing is that usually these effects give trample to itself, but this one gives trample to your whole team. So that's like kind of powerful. But I'm still taking this at like a D+.
Yeah, D+ as well. You care about mounts, you take it. You care about 4, you take it. Just like Scotty said. But green has some of these big things. And green has these 3/3s for 2. So I can see this going to a C grade. But for now, just a D+. I don't think it's a high pick. Free Strider Commando for 2 and a green. It's a mercenary, this one. Wait, the last one is just a mount bear. Yeah. It's a mercenary, this thing. It's a 3/3 for 3. But you can plot it for 4 mana. And it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it if it wasn't cast or no mana was spent to cast it. So, yeah, if you get it from the graveyard, it's a 5/5. If you plot it, it's a 5/5. So you can plot it for 4, get a 5/5, which is okay. It's not great. But it's overstated for 4 mana, but it comes into play 1 turn later. The thing is, this is also a 3 mana 3/3. So if you have, it serves both roles, right? You can just play 3 mana, play a 3/3, which is fine, nothing special. And then you can pay 4 mana, get a 5/5. It's also a mercenary, I guess. So it's not bad, it's not amazing. I think it's just really nice card. I don't think green cares about mercenaries much. I'm gonna go on a C- or a C. Don't think it's a high pick, but it fills the role very nicely. What do you think, Scotty? C-? I think it's C-.
I'm gonna C-. It's not particularly exciting, but if it ends up in my deck, I'm not groaning. You know, it seems like a totally fine playable to me. I like being able to guarantee that my deck can cast spells on every turn. So
I think we have so many more better common 4 drops in green. That's the problem. Why I don't care about more than C-.
Giant Beaver, 3 and a green for Beaver mount. It's a 4/4 with Vigilance. Whenever Giant Beaver attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that saddled it this turn. This card's huge.
That's really
It's
good.
a big beaver. That's a pretty stinking big beaver.
Bigger.
Yeah. So 4/4 Vigilance is quite good. As we mentioned before with mounts, one weakness of mounting is if you stack up too much of your creature board in one attack, it can potentially make racing a little awkward. It can leave you a little vulnerable to attacks back, but Vigilance kind of solves that, right? Like 4/4 is the stat line where it can probably trade or attack through most things, and then therefore be able to block things. So it's nice. I like Giant Beaver. I don't know how high of a grade I can specifically give it.
Scotty likes them with
because
experience.
It's like a 4-drop. So I think I'm also giving this one a C. But it's good. It's a really good card.
I really like this. Saddle 3 is kind of a lot. But it's pretty big that you're getting like a +1/+1 counter or something on like maybe a 3/3 defender, maybe something that enters the battlefield. And 4/4 Vigilance is real nice. It is a 4-drop. Can this get a C+ maybe? Funny how you're talking like it's a big beaver and the name is Giant Beaver. It's not giant, it's big. That's a mistake.
It's a pretty moderately sized beaver for 4 mana.
Pretty big. Yeah, just because it's a 4-drop, I think is it ever C+? The fact is real nice. It's also a mount and you don't care about, you don't have to settle it. Vigilance is really good effect on this, man. I don't know. It's still just one body for 4. So can I give it a C+? I don't think I ever pick these 4-drops that don't draw you cards or something like that as a C+. But it is really good. Vigilance is so nice. Option to it's a mount when you care about it. It's a 4-power. Vigilance is so good on a very well statted 4-drop. I kind of want to give it a C+, but experience tells me this is not going to be a C+, it's going to be like a C. So let's go with a C. Let's start with a C.
C for moderately large size beaver.
Yeah, we were talking how it's big all the time. Hard Bristle Bandit. For 1 and a green, it's a 1/1 rogue that adds 1 mana of any color for a tap, right? Okay, so just a 1/1. And whenever you commit a crime, untap this guy. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. This feels really bad. The part where it untaps, it's it's a 1/1 and it's always a 1/1. I think this untap is much worse than if it was like a Death Toucher or had 2 power so it can trade or something like that. Like, how often are you committing crime and you can play something else? It's doesn't seem great. I think it's very narrow when this is gonna matter. Kind of nice that like your deserts are basically coming into play untapped. But yeah, removal plus a creature, that's kind of nice. Green has some good removal. I'm not big on this. Like, if you're... Unless you have a lot of like 5-drops, 4-drops that plot, I don't think you want this in a deck, like a fast saddle deck, for example. Fast mount deck. I'm gonna give it a C-, man. I don't think this is very good. I just don't think... Like, it's never gonna be relevant, the creature. And I think it's very hard to make like double spelling worth it, where you couldn't double spell without this, without the untap part. It's a bit weird.
I don't think it's that hard to make the double spelling matter. Especially if we isolate green, I don't think it's actually particularly great, but green in tandem with like other colors that can probably commit crimes a little better. I think this has enough synergies throughout the set to be pretty relevant. And I expect to be untapping this a fair amount of time and actually being able to spend that extra mana. I generally think that 2 mana rampers are overrated in general in the Magic community. But I like this. It fixes for any color of mana, so it's really good at enabling your splashes. I really like that I can take deserts pretty highly and not be too punished by the overloading on tap lands if I have this in play, because it's kind of, as you said, it untaps this one instead. But I think it's solid. So I think I'm gonna give it a C.
I'm gonna give it a D+.
All right, going down.
Going down, yeah. You convinced me.
Okay. You've also convinced me. I'm going down on a... Oh shoot! I can't land my joke because I don't remember the card name.
Okay.
Disgraceful. Highway robbery. I'm going down on highway robbery. You've convinced me.
by talking that this card is good. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Frog was like a 1/1 reach, and it gets Death Touch later on, so it kills anything. This is a 1/1 just to maybe have that one turn where you're gonna get 1 extra mana and you still got a fucking 1/1 left. I think this is really bad, actually.
I think it's rough because specifically there's a distinct lack of mana sinks besides Spree. Like, there's a bunch of one-off mana sinks and Spree cards, but in terms of inherent mechanics, there's not a whole lot of activated abilities you can just dump your mana into, which is sets where I really like something like this, an irrelevant body that just makes mana. And the fact that this doesn't even help you scale up your Dance of the Tumbleweeds if you're playing that kind of splashy deck is kind of rough too.
And even if you double spell, you have a 1/1. There is never gonna be anything else. So if you really, I think I'm giving it D+ just if you really have nothing else and you gotta splash. You have some amazing splash. Because, man, I want to play basically any other 2-drop and just curve out, no need to ramp much. I can see getting so many 4-drops that this is good. But then you draw this in mid-game, late game, and it's never anything else. For example, with a Tipster, it only ramped for green, but tempo was hard to combine in that set. Like, all the 2-drops and 3-drops just traded. So that was huge. You get to ramp, which is pretty big in MKM. And the Tipster was like a 2/2, a 3/3, a 4/4. A lot of times. At least a 2/2 or a 3/3, which just trades with a lot of things. So, man, D+, but I think this is gonna go down. D. It's going down? It's going down. Can you give it a D? I'm a prophet.
I'm sticking with a C.
Yeah, 100% correct prediction so far.
I've met 0 people who've played the set that can refute your claims.
What, you met 0 people?
That's not even true because people have already played the set.
Yeah.
The joke doesn't even make sense.
I saw it be fine. I think Reed Duke played it when he had like a ton of 4-drops to ramp to, but only when he drew it on 2. Like anything else, it's so bad. It is so bad. And then he played it in some deck that didn't have that many 4-drops, and it was really, really bad. So, yeah. 1-1 that's never anything else and doesn't really trade with anything. Problems. Yeah,
It's pretty convincing, to be honest.
True, I'm 100% correctly predicting my own grades.
I think your arguments are very good. Patient Naturalist. Or is this me? I think it's me. Patient Naturalist. 2 and a green for a 3 mana for a... I'm sorry. I'm just cracking up. I'm just cracking up because I'm just reminding myself of grading your jokes. And now I'm grading your arguments.
You can do whatever you want, man. This is a safe place, okay? It's just me and you. Nobody's gonna know.
That's some pretty good comforting. I give that comforting a C+.
C+ for comforting or
yes, C+ for comforting. Yeah.
Did you even read
Good
this
job.
card yet?
I didn't read it. I just cracked up.
Okay.
I'm losing it. Patient Naturalist. It's 2 and a green, 3 mana total for a creature human scout. When Patient Naturalist enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Put a land card from among the milled cards into your hand. If you can't, create a treasure token. This card is good. That's a solid 3. The body is kind of poopy, but I think the likelihood of being a 2-for-1 is very quite high. You know, oddly enough, rules-wise, you cannot forcibly miss your mill, right? Because if you mill a land, you have to return it to your hand. So it's not like you can choose to make that treasure. But having that treasure as a fail-safe mode is pretty dang nice to be able to actually hit something next turn if you need it, or even ramp something out if you need it. I think this is a good 3-drop. I'm going to give this C+.
Yeah, I like this. Not as much, I think, as I like the weaker card in Midnight Hunt. In Midnight Hunt.
Yeah, I think that card is better. I don't think that card's weaker. I think that card's better.
It doesn't do exactly the same thing, but without the treasure?
It does not. Eccentric Farmer can fetch something from the graveyard that was there previously.
Oh, that is true. That is true. But also, you cared about putting things in the graveyard there.
Yes.
So, there's not like a huge deal with milling. Not that many things care about you milling, but there's some. There's some uncommons as well. We're going to get to green, I think 1 or 2. I want a C+ as well. I like this quite a lot. The 2-3 in the last... This would be broken in the last set. In this one, I think 2-3 is a bit... It's not great. So we are gonna see. It's still an amazing card, I think. It's so much better than the previous one, the 1-1. I can see playing like a lot of... you play a lot of colors, you get this, you play a lot of late game, you clog the ground a bit with these guys. There is some nice life gain in green as well. Man, there's life gain everywhere in this set, and no life gain payoffs, which is kind of fine. Okay. We want to hit or miss with this? I mean, I think most of the time we want to hit. It's just good. It is just good. Like, most of the time I think you want to hit. Reach for the sky. For 3 and a green, it's a flash aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+2 and has reach. When this thing is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Okay. It's 4 mana. It does have flash. It's 4 mana. I don't like this. I don't like that, man. I do not like this. D. I think this is just a D. This is not good. I don't even know what to say about it. This is just not good. I don't want to do this for 4 mana. It replaces itself if the creature doesn't die that you played it on. I don't know, man.
I want to like it, but I think it's pretty bad.
It's bad. I
also think it's a D. No. Yeah, it's 2 toughness is really painful. It just means you're not even going to win combats that you want to win.
Yeah,
for 4 mana.
And
You know, so like if you want to spend 4 mana to catch yourself up for that 4 mana that you're spending, versus your opponent just dropping a 4-drop, you're just not even doing that with Reach with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm off it. I'm on a D.
No. By the way, the last card, it's really gonna be important how good or bad is a 3 mana 2/3. There are some common 3/3s, which is a big problem for this guy. So you got a double block, and double blocking early is very scary. Opponent has a good trick, and all of a sudden you lost way too much tempo. Or they have removal. So double blocking early is always scary. But yeah, we're gonna see.
Double blocking is not scary if you have the Snakeskin Veil, right? Or kind of, sometimes. Versus Combat Check, it doesn't do anything. It helps a little. Snakeskin Veil is green for an instant. +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Gains hexproof until end of turn. This is a solid trick. It's nice. It's very efficient. I don't think it's anything special in terms of if the game is about actual creature combat, because +1/+1 isn't particularly large. It is nice that it sticks around, but this frankly is a huge tempo swing in your favor if your opponent ever tries to remove something. So the point, I like it. I think it's solid. I'm giving this a C.
I'm on a C- or D+. Nah, I'm on a D+. It's fine. The more creatures you have that you wanna save, the better it gets, obviously, from removal when you have a problem. I don't think it's great. Just hexproof and very small. I guess C- is fine. I think C- is fine. It's green has some big boys. So like +1/+1 I think is gonna be mattering more than not. And this is the hexproof is the big deal, so I don't know. Depends on the deck. If you don't have better like removal, interaction, whatever, a lot of big boys. There are some powerful like early creatures, namely the Mount Lord, or the Mount. How do you call the female Lord? Countess? No, that's
Lord.
Count. Just Lord?
Yeah, you just say Lord, whatever.
Okay, the Mount Lord, the Mount Countess. It's Count now. That's how we call them these days. Like, there's some very powerful early game creatures that cost little mana. You can keep this up as well, so that kind of sells it a bit more. But just a C- for now. I think it's maybe gonna go to a D+. Nothing special. And this is kind of special. Spine Woods Paladin. For 4 and a green, it's a 5/4 trample guy that enters the battlefield with oh my god, what am I doing? That enters the battlefield and you gain 3 life. You can plot it for 4 mana. Okay, you plot it for 4. You get a 5/4 trample next turn that gains you 3 life, so you're very fine plotting it like that. That is really good. This is really, really good. And then this is the one where remember when Scotty said, when you said that it's nice that you can cast some of the plotted cards like for more mana if you have that, like you don't have to wait. Well, for this one I'm happy because I mean for the 4/3 flyer I'm not happy casting it for 5 as a safety kind of the extra option. This one you have 5, you just cast it. That's nice. You have 4, you pay 4, you get it in. Man, this is really good. I'm on a C+. 4-drop, but I'm on a C+.
I'm on a really high C+ as well. I could see this going to B- at the end by the end of the set. It's super duper strong.
The problem is so many good.
You really can't. Yeah. In the way that Cactarantula doesn't help you with time in terms of dropping a 5-drop and having it get removed and getting attacked through. Like Cactarantula gets you cards, sure, but maybe at that stage of the game, that's not what's important. Life really matters. Life really matters for that. That's why Honey Mammoth. That's why Lindworm has always been really strong in those spots, because it buys you extra time, even if they do remove your high drop and try to wrap around with their creatures. It's very good.
It's not only about removal. It's also about you can play multiple. Those were 6-drops, so you could play multiple 6-drops. Why? Because well, the problem is you have like 3 of them in hand. But if they keep gaining your life, you're gonna survive until you play all of them, and now you have a large army of huge guys. And now this guy is a 4-drop or 4-drop or a 5-drop. So you can play even more of them in the deck. Because you're going to be gaining that life that you're losing by having a lot of 4-drops, 5-drops in your hand. That's huge. That is huge, yeah.
I'm going up to B- actually. I think this is the best green common.
It's amazing. I can see it going to B-, but I'm gonna start with a C+. Just because there's a lot of other 4-drops that are pretty good.
Yeah, this card's fantastic. Is it me? Throw from the saddle. 1 green, 2 mana total for a sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Instead, if it's a mount, then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. There's a lot of spicy words on this card, but in the end, it's a 2 mana sorcery speed punch, which is okay. that's like okay.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. 2 mana sorcery. You're okay with Rabid Biting?
This is a Rabid Bite?
Oh, this is not Rabid Bite. It's sorry. It always gets the +1/+1. But sorry, it's not even a punch. This is a +1/+1 in punch.
Yeah.
No, that's strong. Yeah, sorry, that's strong. For some reason, I thought it only got +1/+1 if it was a mount, but obviously I can't read.
You thought it was only with a mount.
I thought for some reason I thought I only got the +1/+1 of the mount,
no,
but no, that's not what the card does. Anything gets +1/+1. The +1/+1 stays if it's a mount. This is a C+. This card is strong green removal.
Oh, I think this is amazing. Like there are a lot of mounts, and there are a good amount of good mounts in green. In green, there are some as well. But keeping a +1/+1 counter is wild on some of your cards. Like that's crazy powerful. And not keeping a counter is very, very powerful as well. Now you can kill. It's so much easier to kill things. It's so much easier to make attacks possible. I'm on a B- for this one. I think this one is the best green common. This is so good. This is so good. And +1/+1 means like you can attack through something that you're not removing. Green is getting some love, baby. Removal in green, like how far have we come from 1 mana fight garbage, or from 4 mana get a +1/+1 counter and fight, not bite. Like you gotta fight with a creature, you better have more toughness, or opponent better not have a trick or something. Man, this is amazing. This is the best green removal I've seen in a while. Yeah?
At common?
Mm-hmm.
At common, yes, absolutely.
Man, this is so good. This is so good. No. Mount doesn't get +2/+2. In paper, yeah, in paper it does. Mount gets the +1/+1 counter instead. That's kind of game breaking in terms of tempo. That is kind of game breaking. Crazy.
It's gonna feel brutal if your opponent like double spells on turn 4, or even turn 3 is gonna feel really rough.
Yeah. Wow.
Painful.
Tumbleweed Rising for 1 and a green. It's a sorcery that you can plot for 3. Create an XX green elemental creature token where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Okay, we're probably all envisioning like the dream scenarios where you're bam, you have that turn where everything is huge. But the problem with this card is, I think it's good. The problem with this card is when you don't have a creature. The problem is when you're top decking with it, but then removal is bad as well. It can be a bit weird, right? It's not as you cast this, so opponent can play a removal spell. When you plot it, they're gonna know. But I really like this. Like green things are big. It's power. Like you can play I really do like this. Like there are 3/3s for 2 mana, so you can double spell with that. Get 2 3/3s. Why not? Plotting seems pretty good. Like you play a 4 mana 4/4, or you plot on 4 with a lifelinker. Sure, lifelinker with the life gain guy. Sure, it's gonna be slow turns. You're gonna get dealt some damage, but then all of a sudden you're gonna get a 5/4 and a 5/5. So good luck getting through that. The plot is big, very big on this one, because you can just, like, you can have 3 mana this, you continue playing, and then like for 5 mana you play the 6/5, for example, and then this is 6/6. So 3/3s lose relevance fast. Well, if you're getting it for 2 mana, I don't think this is bad, man. I think green decks are gonna be having a high amount of creature cards. I'm not on a C plus, I'm like on a C. On a C. I think this is pretty good, on a C. And there are also some tokens there that give exactly magic, +1/+0. I'm on a C. This is gonna be huge tempo on some turns. For 2 mana or when you plot it. This is gonna be a huge tempo on some turns.
I'm only slightly lower than you on conditionality. I do feel like there is going to be extremely powerful turns with this. Like very, very good turns. And I don't think it's unlikely. But there is a fail case.
Fail case.
And there is like an issue with getting the creature removed. There's an issue with balance. It's fine. C-.
Okay. Very, it's you.
Voracious Varmint, 1 green for 2 mana for a creature varmint. It's a 2/2 with vigilance. 1 and sacrifice Voracious Varmint, destroy target artifact or enchantment. That is a nice bit of flexibility on your bear. Lovely. Really insulates you versus shenanigans. And it's cards like this, an explosive derailment in green, that specifically like give me an eyebrow raise whenever like a spicy looking artifact or enchantment pops up in the set, you know. Lasted by the law, etc., or the makeshift binding. I forgot what the name was in white.
Yeah, removal.
So it's a little concerning, but this is super solid. I think as far as bears goes, this is just a C, but it's super nice that you have access to this.
No, no relevant types, not amount. I mean, the 3/3 is so much better though. And this trade is not like a 3/4 for 3. But any artifact and enchantment is pretty good. Sure, I can give it a C, I think, as well. I think it might be going down to C-, because 2/2 vigilance is not great, I think. For this set. But yeah, C seems fine as a start.
Not bad.
What?
Commons look sick. But
What
commons
is
are
this?
good. I think the black commons were better, but still very, very strong. Right? Yeah. Some good stuff here. Some good stuff. In green.
Yeah. On to the green uncommons. Scott, you can go.
Aloe Alchemist, 1 green, 2 mana for a creature plant warlock. This is an outlaw for some reason. It's a 3/2 with trample. And when Aloe Alchemist becomes plotted, target creature gets +3/+2 and gains trample until end of turn, and plot 1 green. Interesting. I think this is a card that has a ton of text. And it's a lot of nice text.
Mm-hmm.
But the scariest part about this is probably going to be like in turns 4 through 5 pushing damage, because it represents a lot of damage. Because like honestly speaking, a 3/2 is nice for 2 mana, but it still trades with basically everything. And I'm not interested at all at plotting this on turn 2 because it does nothing, right? Plotting it on turn 2 if you don't have a 2-drop does nothing.
Good job.
Yeah,
buddy.
that doesn't do anything. Yeah. I just had to make sure.
You make sure.
How do you grade my reading, huh? What letter grade do you give my reading?
Well, better than mine probably. Like, yesterday there was some hidden text a couple of times.
Yeah, but this is mostly a threatening aggressive card, and despite the fact this has a ton of text, I think it all amounts to a C+.
I'm on the B- here. Like, I love the
Yeah.
3/2 trample for 2. It is trample. That's not nothing. I think that's a very nice 2-drop. Like, that would be like a C+ for me, like a 3/2 trample for 2. The extra effect is great if you want to be maybe double spelling sometimes. And this enables a really nice attack. Right, it's a 2-drop that enables a really nice attack. Maybe you're just helping your 2-drop or a 3-drop or a 4-drop attack. Maybe you just have something that has like 5 power. So now it's an 8. Now that's a problem. And it gets trample as well. Maybe it gets 6 or something. I really like this. Also,
It's a huge swing.
on turn 4, playing this, plotting this and playing the Tumbleweed. Is the Tumbleweed the name?
Which one?
The-
Yeah, the Dance of the Tumbleweeds.
No, I don't. The 2-drop, the 2 mana.
Oh, sorry, Tumbleweed Rising, sorry.
Oh, it's all the tumble. Okay, all of those are Tumbleweeds. Good. Man, the plants are crazy in this set. The plants have risen up. Like, I don't think we saw many bad plants or any that are really bad. So you can like make a 6/6 on turn 4 or something even bigger, but usually like you can make like a 5/5 or a 6/6 and attack with a big thing. I'm gonna B-. I think this is incredible, incredible. By the way, the removal in green, the +1/+1 counter, I think that can be like a B if you have a lot of mounts. You think this like, what would you grade a 3/2 trample?
C.
C? Okay.
Yep.
I think
Pushes
it's
damage,
crazy.
but still trades with everything. I'm less hot on 2 toughness.
It doesn't trade with everything. They're like 1, 3s, something like that. Not that many though. Beast Bound, it also wears tricks very well, right? There are no tricks though. There is not a single trick in green, except the snakeskin veil. Wait, there are almost no tricks in any color. No, whoa, yeah, that's a new thing. Black has like the +2/+0. No color has like tricks +3/+3. Or even +2/+2, right?
Yeah, the tricks are small, but pretty solid.
That's so interesting. I don't remember when we had a set like that. That's gonna change the set, how it's played out. And that makes Trample a little bit weaker on a 3/2 as well. Just a little bit. Huh, interesting. Beastbound Outcaster. For 2 and a green, it's a 3/3. Human Druid. When it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. You can plot it for 2. Oh, this is great. You can plot it for 2, right? This is gonna be your 3/3 2-drop. But it comes into play 1 turn later. It's still a 3/3. Man, this is amazing. If it draws you the card, that's crazy, just crazy. You can just wait with it sometimes for turn 4 or something. Sometimes when you're not getting hit hard. This is just amazing. I'm on a B-. This is so good.
I'm also on a B-. Complete agreement on that one.
Plot for 2.
Don't really have much else to add. Yeah, plot for two is my biggest. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Betrayal of the Vault. 4 green, 6 mana for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each of 2 other target creatures. Yeah, there's a huge dream here. There's a huge dream. Like, right, you get your instant speed 2 for 1. You punch 2 things in the face. I kind of hate it. This is super clunky. It's really expensive. Fights in naturally are conditional, right? Adding a higher mana on top of that is just adding conditionality onto that. Punches. This is reminiscent of spinning wheel kick, but with less flexibility. I understand that this is an instant spinning wheel kick was not, but I'm not into this. I'm not into this card. This is like a D+ for me.
I'm on a C+. I think spinning wheel kick was way higher than a C+. Was one incredible, but this is not the same. I'm still on a C+. Like 2 for 1. Green things are pretty damn big. I like this a lot. Like 2 for 1 on the board for 6 mana, count me in. And I think in green it's gonna be pretty easy to do this. A lot of things also have trample. You have the 4/2 bear that gives everything trample, which is more playable than what we think, I feel like, because of all the 4 power synergies. And then you can just kill them, right? If a lot of times you just kill 2 things that are blocking, either make them have horrible trades or just trample over them. I think this is great. C+. Sure, it's a bit conditional, but if you pay 6 mana for 2 for 1 on the board, that is huge, huge, huge. Full steam ahead. This is a big difference from us. The biggest maybe in grades. The last one.
I don't think so. We've had a couple ties.
Huh? Full stream ahead. For 3 and a green. It's a sorcery. Until end of turn, each creature you control gets +2/+2, gains trample, and this creature cannot be blocked by more than 1 creature. Okay. Not easy to go wide, but it's a pretty good overrun. Kind of weird that they are not adding modality to this one. They added modality to basically every other effect. There are the Varmins, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. 1 creature maximum, it means you're gonna win a lot of games. It means that they cannot kill a lot of things as well. I'm on a D+. I think this is a very good overrun, but it's still an overrun which does nothing unless it's winning you the game that turn or in 1 or 2 turns. So D+, it's a good overrun. Why not?
Yeah, I like full steam ahead. I think the effect is extremely powerful. I think Overcome is a crap card. Like Overcome, which is just +2/+2 trample with not the extra line of text. I think that's horrible. I think full steam ahead with that extra line. I think that extra line of text is everything. But I'm still on a D+ because I don't expect taking this particularly highly. I don't really foresee an archetype that I'm like, wow, if only I had a full steam ahead, you know, then this deck would be great. Nah, I don't think that's going to be the case here. So D+.
Yeah, by the way, I don't think this is a win more card that it's ever been a win more card. It's more like, okay, my board is ready for this. I might not be winning at all, but now I am. But there are so many situations where this is, oh shit, I cannot cast it. It's not enough. It's not enough. It doesn't do anything for me. That's the problem with it. Like a lot of times, it's not doing anything for me.
Gold Rush, 1 green, 2 mana for an instant. Create a treasure token until end of turn. Up to 1 target creature gets +2/+2 for each treasure you control. So this can be quite large, right? Like second treasure, it's already +4/+4, which is pretty huge. I mean, like, it's okay, right? Like you can live a dream, and you'll know. I think it would be pretty obvious to you if you have enough treasures to be like, oh, Gold Rush is looking a lot more appealing. But I think as the baseline, there's no treasure archetype. There's treasure micro synergies, right? There's no actual treasure deck. There's just individual cards that create treasures, and you'll know when you have them. And I don't think this is a particular draw to say, hey, I'm going to take Gold Rush, so therefore I will be able to build around Gold Rush. I don't think it's that level of power level of cards, so I think it's a D+ for me.
I like it a lot. Ramps you to bigger things. At least it's going to be a +2/+2. Sometimes it's going to be +4/+4, +6, +6.
You can also cast this with no target, so you don't actually need to wait if you really need to fix.
They cannot blow you out with this, right?
They can absolutely blow you out.
They can?
If you select a target and that target dies, it'll still be counted as
You'll lose the target. Yeah, because it's not then.
Yeah, sadly, it'll fizzle the whole effect.
Yeah. I think it's nice. It's a good trick. I'm on a like C- for this one. Intrepid Stable Master for 1 and a green. It's a reach that can tap for green and that can tap for 2 mana of any color, but you can spend it only for mount and vehicle spells. Man. Now this is a mana dork. 2/2 reach.
Yeah, this is a mana dork.
Yeah, 2/2 reach that taps for green. I mean, that's great. 2/2 reach means it really blocks a good amount of flyers and it trades with a lot of things. This is so good. This is really good. And then sometimes it's gonna make you like double spell or play huge mounts. Like turn 4, the 4/7 invite, that's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I think this is amazing. This is like B- minimum, maybe a B. I can give it a B.
I'll go B-. It's really, really good. Big fan. Can't really ask much more of your 2 mana mana dork. It's one of the better 2 mana mana dorks you've seen, period, actually. I think.
What?
It's one of the better 2 mana mana dorks you've seen, period.
Did you ever seen, yeah? Like,
yeah.
Imagine, compare this to the 1/1, that's always a 1/1.
Yeah. The card looks a lot worse. Like, I was thinking about that 1/1, I forgot what it's called. It's called, whatever, the 1/1 that untaps with crimes. I believe in the multicolor splashing decks, you're just going to want the 3/3 for 2 mana instead to buy you time. I kind of think that card is just better than the fixer.
Yeah.
And then you just want to be fixing in other ways. So, rough life. Map the Frontier, 3 green, 4 mana for a sorcery. Search a library for up to 2 basic lands and or desert cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Okay, call me a hater, but I really don't want to be fixing this way. And I don't even care about what deserts I have. I don't care that this is like 4 mana, deal 2 damage, you know?
Yep.
Or fetch your utility deserts. Kind of just off it. It's like a D- for me.
D-?
Yep.
Yeah, D minus
hate
is
it.
fine. I don't think I'm ever gonna play this. It's so bad, man. 4 mana, do nothing, just ramp for 2, and in late game you don't even want to do that. I don't know. This is horrible. Maybe, yeah. Why don't we see this modality on uncommons? Because they did it for the commons. They don't need to do it for the uncommons. I forgot about it, the design-wise. So I was kind of weirded out. But yeah, garbage. Always garbage. This has always been garbage. If you guys haven't learned already, god damn it. God damn it.
Was Invasion of Zendikar garbage?
What was that?
Was Invasion of Zendikar
Oh, no,
garbage?
that was fine in the right deck. I mean,
Okay, that one was fine, okay.
You're getting a 4/4 with Vigilance that also ramps.
Yeah, okay.
Come
I was like, how far do you have to push that effect
Yeah,
for it to be good?
It was not broken or anything. It was just, in some decks it was really good. Outcaster Greenblade. For 2 and a green, it's a 1/2. It's a mercenary, and whenever it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card or a desert card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. This guy gets +1/+1 for each desert you control. Hell yeah! So it's gonna be like a 2/3? Probably that next turn is gonna be a 2/3 that gets you a desert. Man, this is really good. I think this is amazing. I'm gonna go to B minus. Great fixing.
I'm even higher than that. I'm taking this as a B. I'm actually super happy, like, first picking this one and being like, okay, well, now I feel extremely secure. Moving in multiple directions in my draft really opens up what you can do, really opens up the flexibility of what you can take. If you have any sort of utility deserts, you can fetch Arid Archway or whatever, right? Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love it. B. We're looking at Rambling Possum. 2 green, 3 mana for a creature Possum Mount. It's a 3/3. Whenever Rambling Possum attacks while saddled, it gets +1/+2 until end of turn. Then you may return any number of creatures that saddled it to their owner's hand. Has saddle 1. So at minimum, this is a 3 mana 3/3. And it becomes a 4/5 if you've saddled it. And then if you have something that with value, you can sort of bounce that back to your hand. Helps with double spelling, right? It helps with insert the battlefield effects. This is just really good. I mean, it's just really, really good. This super solid 3-drop. This is B minus for me. It's huge.
B minus?
And unlike B minus, really, really good. It's like massive. It's super easy to saddle.
On curve, this kills very fast, right?
Yes.
But it's attacks, right? So it attacks while saddled, so it's not gonna make the 3/3 be able to attack.
It's not going to make the 3/3. What do you mean?
The 3/3 plant cannot attack with this.
Oh, you're talking about Aloe Alchemist.
Yes, the plant wolf.
I see, yes. If you're trying to work it with that specific card, it's decent with that card, I guess. But yeah, it's going to take you off a pretty big attacker if you do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess C+ or B minus. Just a big boy. I guess B minus. In some decks you really gonna care about returning things later on or something. Yeah, sure, B minus. Raucous Entertainer. What is that? What is Raucous?
It's raucous.
Raucous.
It's like
making a raucous.
I believe it means kind of. Yeah,
it's
that's
making a raucous.
good way to look at it. I mean,
is that it?
Making a disturbingly harsh and loud noise is what dictionary is telling me.
Okay. Entertainer. For 1 and a green, it's a 2/2. For 1 and a tap, you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that entered the battlefield this turn. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, we're soon gonna come to green uncommon that can make a lot of 2/1s, and then it's a 3/2s.
Yeah, that one's up next.
And in green, in red, there is a 3 mana 2/2 that makes a 1/1. That's gonna be a 3/3 that makes a 2/2. That becomes a crazy good 4-drop.
That's pretty sick.
I mean, it's not bad. This is a nice 2-drop. I'm gonna be a C+. Because most of the time you just trade it.
Yeah, and it's totally fine. It's a bear. I think C+ makes sense. This sort of has the effect of smoothing out your curve, right? Because your 3-drops can cosplay as 4-drops, your 4-drops can cosplay as 5-drops, right? specifically because, you know, if you're thinking quote unquote vanilla test, right? Like the more you scale up in the like it's kind of like 1-to-1, right? Adding +1/+1 counter is like almost equivalent to like adding a mana onto it. So it's pretty good in that sense.
Okay. That's the
Sorry,
card.
it's a okay. We're looking at Rise of the Varmints. Rise of the Varmints is 3 green for sorcery. Create an X/1 green varmint creature tokens, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Plot 2 and a green. I want this card to be super good. I'm a little skeptical about the amount of support that we have for this. In black, we have the 2-drop that mills. So okay, let's take a step back. I'm only looking at Golgari. I'm looking at Golgari and pretty much Golgari alone. I believe that this is a gold card that's not secret gold card, as they say. If you're trying to play this in, like, for example, red-green deck where you expect to trade off, that's not going to work. The card's never going to be good enough. You know, just with normal combat, if you expect to get your cards in the graveyard fairly, it's just not going to be good enough. So think about Golgari, where you can have things that mill you. Specifically the patient nurturing something. The 3-drop that mills and gets a land back from the graveyard, and also the vampire at 2 mana in black. Stuff like that actively mills you. The ceiling for this is really high. I probably think we should be giving this a ceiling grade.
Yeah.
But how high are we taking this? The cards, unlike Spider Spawning, sadly, the cards don't have reach. It does nothing if you mill over this. But the 2/1s, which is pretty strong, can get your opponent. It can kill your opponent if you wrap around pretty wide. I am going to start off a hater, and I'll probably take this at like a D level. But I think in ceiling it could be like a B-.
What is ceiling?
I could see a ceiling as a B-.
Yeah, D plus, I think. For me, then B- seems like a good ceiling. The plot
like
is
a
kind of
huge
nice.
delta between. It's like a card I kind of want to wheel, right? I want to wheel these because no one else is doing my thing, which is kind of what that grade means.
So yeah, so you gotta. So what? You're milling with a 2-drop for that mills for 2. Then you're milling with a 3-drop mills for 3. And there's an uncommon, I think maybe next card that also can mill you. Yeah, the Badger Mount. And if you have enough of those, but then you gotta be careful how many non-creatures you include in the deck. Like all of a sudden the tumbleweeds are sorceries, you don't want to include that. Then you just want a good amount of those. And then if this is only one card that you have, I don't think there is anything that can get you this back from your graveyard, except the blue card that gives flashback, I guess. That's kind of okay. So when you have, like, you're playing Golgari, when you have a creature that does something like this, then you can usually, it works with itself, right? You mill it, the next thing does more, and you can get it back from the graveyard much easier. Sorceries are very hard to get from the graveyard in this set. Get back to your hand, recast them. Only the blue uncommon does it, I think. So yeah, sure, D plus and B minus ceiling. I'm gonna try to make it work. A lot of times. That's what I said with Chalk. Remember the Chalk last time? In MKM?
Yeah, Chalk Outline, the bane of many gems.
Yeah, like the first, I have maybe 10 drafts or something. I see Chalk, I take Chalk and I switch. Because I really wanted to test out when it's good. And I think I quickly got a good idea when it's good. And it's not when you take it highly. So this is I think gonna be the same. Ho! Spinewoods Armadillo. 4 green, 6 in total. It's a 7/7 reach with ward 3. And you can also pay 1 and a green to cycle it to search for a basic land card or a desert card and to gain 3 life. You put it in your hand, okay? Not ramping. That's great. That is good. 6 mana, 7/7 reach, ward 3. It means it's not just gonna die for a small amount of mana. It also means that sometimes opponents are just not gonna be able to interact with it at all. And 2 mana to get a land and draw, or a desert, and gain 3 life is huge. That 3 life makes you paying for land, makes you paying 2 for a land very fine. Very good for Reanimator. We have a couple of Reanimator effects. There is one in Golgari There's also one in... you can also get it back with some cards, right? That's pretty good. And there is also one in Breaking News that we're gonna get that is really, really fucking powerful. It is. Oh, there are two. Oh, there are two in Breaking News. I know there is one. Oh, nice, there are two. So, this is really good. I'm gonna give this like B- or a B. Started with a B-, I think.
I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B just because the sequence of being able to buy this back with the mercenary maker. I forgot what it's called. The one, the 2 mana raise dead, make a mercenary.
What?
It's just so easy. It's just so easy to bail yourself out, even if you do. Like, I'm so happy discarding this, you know.
What mercenary?
And the
What
fact
does
that
it
it's huge. It's 1 black, return creature from graveyard to hand, make a mercenary.
Ah, you mean the sorcery? Yeah.
Yes, the sorcery.
The mercenary token.
The sorcery, yeah. Mercenary token, my bad. Good. I like it at a B.
Yeah. Okay, B- for me as a start. Ooh,
Stubborn Burrow Fiend. 1 green, 2 mana for a creature, Badger Beast Mount. It's a 2/2. Whenever Stubborn Burrow Fiend becomes saddled for the first time each turn, mill 2 cards, then Stubborn Burrow Fiend gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Saddle 2. At minimum, bear. It's not that difficult for this to become like a 3/3 or 4/4 by like turn 3 or 4. Not that difficult. Can help you enable your graveyard synergies. Is this the card I want to be going all in for my graveyard synergies? I kind of don't think so. I understand that it gets huge, but a huge creature is not what I want to be building my entire deck around.
Why would you do that?
Why would I do that?
The card is great without that, so who cares?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Like this card is totally fine. This is like B- for me.
Yeah, totally fine. B- is like great, amazing 2-drop. Totally fine, man. What the fuck, man? You said you had so many nicer adjectives for like C- cards. Like, yeah, this is pretty good. C-.
It's kind of ugly.
Totally fine.
The teeth are
B-.
kind of ugly.
Like, oh, one of the best 2-drops in the game. Great for one of the best 2-drops on common and uncommon. B-. Like, it's fine. It is fine. It's like,
it's okay.
This is, I think, good. A+.
It's decent. It's reasonable.
Yeah, it's like better than most
passable.
cards. What the fuck?
It can sometimes get there.
I mean,
sometimes when you cast this, sometimes you'll win, and sometimes you'll lose.
This is just amazing on its own. I also think it's a B-. Some decks is better. You play this. You play the 3 mana 2/3. That mills for 3. That means you mill for 5, and this just gets in for like 4 or something. This is very powerful. Amazing 2-drop. This is a B for me. Just a B. This is, you gotta mill, right? You have to mill. Okay. Oh. When it becomes saddled for the first time each turn. So you mill first before attacking. That's so good.
Yes.
I don't know why I thought it was different. I thought you had to attack, because everything else has to attack first. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, I'm on a B. I'm on a B for this. This is a crazy 2-drop. You know the size.
I mean, I can never block as something large, but
I want to be. This is a crazy 2-drop, like mid game, late game, early game.
Why does the non-attack clause make you? Why does that matter to you?
Because you know the size of it before the attack. That's kind of important.
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Man, this is amazing. Yeah. I mean, I knew it was amazing, but I mean, that's so much better as well. Like you don't leave things to chance like with Explorer or something. Oh man, that is nice. You don't even have to attack. You don't even have to attack. You can just do it once and then be like, next turn I'm gonna do it, because it's probably gonna be such a huge attack for a 2-drop that you can be fine missing some damage. Sheesh. Yeah. And that's why I asked you, like, why do you care about building the deck around this? Like, it's gonna be amazing anywhere, and if the deck has more meal, it's so much better. Holy shit. Trash the Town for a green. It's an instant spree card. you pay +2, put a 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. +1, target creature gains trample until end of turn. +1, until end of turn, target creature gains, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards. Okay, break it down, gotta break it down. Instant speed, huge. So, what do you want to do most of the time? Well, pay 2 mana to draw 2 cards. That's great. Or pay 4 mana to give something +2/+2 to draw 2 cards. That is gonna be a normal thing to do. This card is insane. Or you can just put a 2+1/+1 counters if that's good for you. That's fine. 5 mana trample, so something's gonna get in for sure. You can also like give +2/+2 to something and make something else draw you cards. So now they're a little bit in trouble. Oh, this is crazy. I'm gonna B-. This is so good. Maybe a B even. What do you think? B- for start, I think.
I'm starting out at B-. This is kind of bonkers trick. It's actually miserable.
It's actually what miserable?
It's miserable. Yeah, this is a really feel bad trick. It's very strong. Extremely strong.
Oh, you can commit a crime, right? For 5 mana, you target something they have for trample.
You could do that.
I mean, that's
you
really
could 2 mana, commit a crime.
1 extra mana. No. I mean like 5 mana.
Yeah, in addition to. Yeah.
There are gonna be a lot of times where you have that 1 extra mana laying around. Oh my god, it's so good. We are done with the green uncommons, and I'm very happy. This is super consistent, man. The green commons and uncommons feel really consistent.
I believe the green uncommons may have been the best across the board for us.
Yeah, not the blue ones?
Yep. No, not the blue ones.
Oh, sorry, blue ones.
Are you making a joke?
Ones.
Yeah, no, not the white ones. No, I think that there's more greens in the B than there are white cards.
Oh, that is true.
We've given 7 green uncommons a B rating or higher, or B in the B range, which is it's bonkers. That's crazy.
Yeah, wow. And green commons are up there. I think green commons are gonna go higher, because there's green feels really solid. So many C pluses in green. Very deep color. Very, very deep color. All right. Next up.
Am I reading this one?
Yeah, mythics and rares in green.
Okay. Bristly Bill, Spine Sower, 1 green. For legendary creature, plant druid. It's a 2/2 with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. 3 green, double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. My voice is dying. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah. 2 mana 2/2, normal. +1/+1 on anything, not other. Late game, you just start doubling shit. That's crazy. Usually we got this on 4 mana, but it's not a mythic. Amazing, incredible. B+, so powerful.
It's crazy that this just has a monosync mode attached to it, along with just snowballing super hard. This is also B+ for me.
I mean, is this a bomb? Because
I think it's extremely close.
Like, if you get it on 2, it just takes over the game as well? This doesn't put counters every turn. Definitely.
I mean, you do need to answer it. Like, you actually do need to answer this.
Yeah.
So I could go A- with this one. The only like slight pause. The only slight pause specifically is that for cards that only generate stats, as soon as you like remove the stats, then you're kind of even with your opponent again. But it's still super duper strong, especially because you can distribute the stats.
Yeah. B+.
Are you on A-? Okay,
I want a B+.
Sure.
Very good.
All right.
Colossal Rattleworm. It's a 4-drop, 2 green, 6/5. It has flash as long as you control a desert. Has trample, and for 1 and a green, you can exile this guy from your graveyard to search your library for a desert card, put it on the battlefield tab, then shuffle. Okay, 4 mana 6/5 trample is big. That is really big. And trample, it has trample, so it's gonna kill. And it can completely blow out the opponent's attacks if you have a desert. That is amazing. And for 2 mana, once he dies, you're also gonna hopefully ramp, fix maybe. No, this is fine as a rare. This is completely fine as a rare. This is not like completely broken bomb. That it's one big body that's gonna get you a land. Maybe blow them out a bit. B plus, amazing, incredible. B plus, but this is not like, oh my god, that's a rare. Like it's not a Vindicator or something.
I mean, I'm kind of on an A minus for this one. The fact that like you could get value initially when it comes into play ambush or something, you get value when this dies, and it's huge. This is everything. It's an A minus for me.
Okay. It doesn't. A lot of times it doesn't have flash. A lot of times that's the thing.
Free Strider Lookout, 2 green, 3 mana for a creature. Human Rogue, it's a 3/3 with reach. Whenever you commit a crime, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped.
Yeah.
So I've never read this card before. you put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability only triggers once each turn. Oh my gosh, there's a 3/3 for 3 that just ramps you when you commit crimes. What the heck? This card's actually crazy too. So in the late game, in the hyper late game, yeah, sure, pulling lands out of the top of your deck is not going to feel like card advantage, right? But it's so easy to start committing crimes immediately after you plop this down on 3, turn 4, turn 5 on. It's very, very good. Very, very good. I'm going to put this at a B+.
Yeah, this is amazing. Does require a bit of extra work. This is actually going to be card advantage, I think. Like, if you're committing crimes well enough, you're going to be really thinning your deck as you're going to be coming back to these cards. Like, you do this 4 times, you're kind of... You made your deck thinner for sure. Yeah, this is pretty good. B+? I don't think so. B? Yes. I mean, commit a crime, you just play a land as well. You put it on the battlefield tapped as well. Oh my god, man. This with deserts, but I don't think you're gonna have a ton of deserts. But there are other things that commit crimes. I'm gonna be. Because 3/3 reach, and you do need a bit of work. Still really, really powerful. Gold Vein Hydra for X and a green. It's a 0/0. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and when it dies, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to its power. Okay, it's nice. This is the opposite of overstated. It's understated creature. This has lower stats than what you get for the mana cost. Of course, you can go to like 8, 9, 10 mana and then be a big problem. So when are you kind of happiest with this? Maybe 5 mana plus 5+, like at least get a 4/4 Vigilance, Trample, Haste. That's gonna get you some treasures. It's okay, it's nothing special. I'm gonna see. It's fine. It's like, it is understated, that's the problem.
I like C+ a little. I don't think the treasures are completely negligible in terms of what you can do within the late game, but I also agree. The stats are kind of crap. I'd love to gold rush after this. That'd be pretty phenomenal.
The plus 2/2 for each treasure?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's kind of good.
That's a pretty good follow-up to this dying.
That is really good. Understated though.
Ornery Tumblewag, 2 green for 3 mana for a creature Brushwag mount. It's a 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Whenever this attacks while saddled, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature. Saddle to, well, this gets out of hand extraordinarily quickly. Let's just isolate this. Right? On the first turn you play it, it's going to be a 3/3 when you enter combat. Or it could send a counter over to something else. But let's just talk about itself. This will be a 3/3. And the next turn, it'll be a 4/4, and then you saddle it with the next creature you play and you attack. It's a 6/6, right? Yeah, it's a 6/6. And that's a lot of words for 2 turns. The turn you play it and the turn it attacks.
Yeah.
So it's huge.
That's a lot of words.
Huge.
That's a lot of stats.
Yeah.
Words, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of stats. So let's not sleep on the fact that this doesn't just buff itself. It buffs anything. It buffs your 2/2, so it attacks into opponent's 3/3.
Yeah.
You know, it just distributes counters. That's already... If this card had no other text besides that, it would be phenomenal. It would be really strong. But for some reason, it just also gets huge. It just is massive. And this doesn't even have the problem with some other saddle cards where have good effects, because
Yeehaw.
if you want to, you can always make sure this survives combat by just waiting until this is big enough.
Wait, how do you mount this?
So, how do you mount this with a bear?
I guess you have a saddle up there.
Oh, you mean you? Yeah, there's a. Oh, you're talking flavor-wise. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. You asked me how do you mount this. I'm like, with 2 power? Whoa, what are you talking about?
That is correct.
The best set review. The best. Yeah, this is a A- for me.
This is an A for me.
Okay.
This is a 3-drop that
this is
takes
really
over
strong.
the game. Like if you don't kill it, you lose probably. It's like 3-drop, but if you don't kill it, you're probably just done. My god, this is so powerful. Yeah, and you don't have to put it on itself, but if you do, it's gonna end games on its own. This with Snakeskin Veil. Now this is, you have Snakeskin Veil, the game is kinda over. With this one. Oh my goodness, so what a card, crazy. Outcaster Trailblazer. For 2 and a green, it's a 4/2. Oh, this is weird. When it enters the battlefield, add 1 mana of any color. Whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. So I guess the thing here is like you plot it, and then you play it, and then you ramp for that 1 turn. Right? You play a 5-drop on turn 4, for example. Or you double spell on turn 6 without plotting it or something. Which is pretty good, why not? Not the best stat line, but anything else that you play that's big is gonna draw you a card, and I think you're gonna be playing a good amount of 4 power creatures in green. Doesn't trigger only once per turn, can plot, so you actually draw a card right away. Fixes ramps for that turn. Oh man, this is great. I'm on a B+. This is amazing.
Let me ask you. This versus B-Spawn Outcaster, which has very similar line of text. B-Spawn Outcaster plots for 2, doesn't have 4 power, and doesn't add the mana. Is this card that much better than B-Spawn or Outcaster to you?
But this is for any creature. That thing is different. That thing is if you already have a creature.
I see. No, you're right. It's completely separate text. Yeah, so this continues to trigger.
Yeah.
This
And
card
you're drawing more
good.
cards, so it's
I'm on
easier
a
to
B.
trigger.
Yeah. So I'm on a B. I'm on a straight up B with this one. I think this is quite good. Quite good.
Very nice. Oh.
Railway Brawler. 3 green for creature Rhino Warrior. It's a 5/5 with reach and trample. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. Has plot, 3 and a green. So this is freaking massive. It has reach. And it just makes all your creatures completely huge. But it doesn't have an ETB, so it's like a C. What do you think, Lola?
So this is like 4 mana reach trample 5/5, right? 4 mana very plotted, reach trample 5. That's pretty good. So every other creature that you play is a bomb. It
Freaking
makes
massive.
every single other creature that you play a bomb.
Turns your
Right?
bears into 4/4s.
Turns, yeah, 2 mana creatures into 4/4s or 6/6s. That's like the worst thing. Then it turns the 5/4 trampler into a 10/8 trampler, and it stays that way.
Yeah, even after this dies.
Yeah, and you plot it for only 4. I don't know why, but okay, only 4. Good thing it's mythic.
Yeah. It turns the armadillo into a bomb after you play it.
And you just play this and then play the other card. They better have instant speed removal. I mean, if they have instant speed removal and they keep up the mana, you just play another creature and keep this plotted. And they're like, fuck, I cannot use removal on that. I gotta kill the freaking brawler. So you make them waste their turn, so that's fine as well. Worse than what it looks like initially, but reach is a plus. What? It's a 5/5 reach trample that more than doubles. In green, it more than doubles your stats on every creature. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm on an A+ for this one. Even though it needs more
Me
work.
too. We should talk slightly about Secret Reach. Have you seen Reach now?
It's
Have
not
you did you
secret
see
anymore.
did you see Reach? Yeah, did you see Reach in the streamer
Yes,
event?
it has like a huge shining crossbow. What?
I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard about it. So
I've seen it, and first I was
seems-
like, man,
yeah.
what is this? What is this effect? Have I been missing something about this set? Like, what is this effect? I didn't really read every single card, and I was like, no, Untap didn't work for the streamers, and I was like, what? This is something new, like morph or something. I don't know. It's something. This creature has something crazy, but it's just Reach. Nobody's gonna miss Reach anymore. The Reach is the most non-hidden thing on Arena. I think that they didn't need to like over-exaggerate like that. Like it's just Reach. It's but fucking. I thought it could kill other creatures or something without fighting. It was like.
I mean, most crossbow artifacts do kill other creatures.
Yeah.
So
I heard some early access players attacked into Secret Reach. Oh lord.
I'm gonna do it. I'm probably gonna do it.
You do it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're gonna do it too.
What did you give this
I'll
one?
take bets. It's an A+.
A+, yeah, this is just silly. Can you read the next one?
Smuggler's Surprise, green for an instant, spree, +2, mill 4 cards. You may put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among them into your hand. +4 and a green. You may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. +1, creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. These effects are very separated from one another. Some of the spree cards are pretty separated in terms of the modality. This one is like pretty separated. I understand the joke is if you pay like 8 mana, you can fetch up 2 creatures from the top of your library and then put them into the battlefield. So sure, that is technically an upside. Do I expect to do that? Like 1 out of 100 times I cast that, maybe. Like I don't really expect to use the second mode much at all. It's mostly, well, actually, it's like a green divination style effect that we've seen before. That's always been like not really good enough, but also has the mode of being able to protect your stuff. So that's interesting. I think this card is not that strong, but the modality is nice. Like all these different modes, I'm not particularly interested, even in the Gorgari Mill deck. But the modality helps bump it up to C- for me.
Really? I mean,
yeah, it's pretty mid.
This divination is okay. I don't. It kind of sucks that I don't understand. It's a rare. Why cannot you get the cards that were already there to your hand? That should be what it does. I think. The 5 mana you're almost never like it's so rare that you're gonna use it. I don't even want to count that 5 mana. It's nice that it exists there. Cause like 5, 6, 7, 8 mana to use it is crazy. It's instant speed, so yeah, 4 mana protection for a lot of things. And draw cards. I like that. I think it's a good card. Like it does give you protection, hexproof, indestructible for a lot of things, so this is nice. You attack and you do this. It's pretty good. I'm gonna C+. I think this is really nice effect. Like the +1 is huge for already having kind of divination. This is not 6 mana spell. What? 6? You're playing this for 6 mana? To put 2 creatures cards from your hand onto the battlefield? What the hell? That's horrible. That is horrible. That is horrible. Maybe. Okay. What if you're splashing a ton, but you don't have the mana? And then this lets you play those cards, actually.
That's big brain.
Yeah, whatever. C+, I think it's pretty good. Oh, we are done with green mythics and rares. So pretty good mythics, rares, and commons and uncommons. Green looks really good. Very consistent, very solid. Good removal, very good creatures. A nice late game, I would say, as well. What do you think?
Green looks like the best color to me.
It might be the best color, man. Alright, we are on to the breaking news. What are breaking news? It's a set of 60 or 65 cards, something like that.